All right, so now that we're live there, we're going to go live on Google, on YouTube, and okay, just be sure everything's loading. Okay, so looks like we are, yeah, everything's working. Cool. So welcome to Jet Webinar Live. We are going to be, we've got our second day of live training today. And what we're going to be covering is we're going to show you how to attract new people to your webinar between the investments of $5 and free. So I actually want to walk through the process of how you're able to attract more people to your events. And from there, if you have, let's say, a 20% conversion rate, a 50% conversion rate, a 30% conversion rate, registrant to show up rate, I want to give you the formula and different strategies that we're able to do on how you're able to get more people to register to your event so you can have more people actually attend live or pre-recorded as well. So as far as that, let's jump into it. So the first thing I want to do is, I'm assuming everyone can see my screen here. So I want to show you a recent case study that we have for one of our clients here. So this is not really a case study, just kind of just some social proof to kind of show you what the strategies, what we're doing for other clients, how they work, and this is, again, everything for this month here. So you see that we have a couple different simulated live webinar events. So when you have live webinar events versus pre-recorded live webinar events versus simulated live or pre-recorded webinar events, you're likely going to get a cheaper conversion rate when you have simulated live or pre-recorded. Now, the reason is because they have more options to actually choose a time that fits within their schedule. If you're targeting people that aren't just within your time zone and there's other people in different locations, that's going to be another reason. Normally, when someone signs up for a simulated live, it's close enough within their time frame. When they sign up, they know they're going to be able to watch it, and that's not always going to be the case with live. So whether your strategy is to just do lives or do lives well enough until you find them converting, based on what your outcome is, if it's to get more leads, to get more sales, to train more people, to expand grow your message and your audience worldwide, then based on whatever outcome that is, then it's really good to be sure that you get your process, your flow down when you do lives, and then you can translate that into simulated lives, and then you can start getting cheap conversions like this here. So you can see here for this webinar for just this month alone, it was from last month up until this month, we have 333 webinar registrants at $5, and then you saw how many clicks actually turned into webinar registrants. So same thing here, 819 clicks that turned into 312 webinar registrants, which came under a under a $5 cost per webinar registrant. This one is a little bit higher, and so you saw this was 513 clicks, and then we actually converted almost 50% of those to 206 signups. And then for a live webinar, you can just see right here, we had 148 signups just for this one campaign. I believe in total we had, I think about 400 or 500 people sign up for this one on a live. And you can notice it's much more expensive. So you compare it from $5 to $7.75, and you're gonna see that there's a huge spike right there, and that can be because for all those reasons that I mentioned above. Okay, and then of course you see here the attended but didn't finish. So these are for people who attended but they weren't able to finish the webinar event, and those people we ran ads to actually make a purchase, and then we turned 5 of those purchases, 133 purchase. The offer is $9.97, so you can see that there's a strong ROI directly from that. So how could we recreate these type of results or even better for your business? So what I want to do is actually walk through all the things that I'm going to be covering, the different ways here, and I'm actually going to put them in all the comments so everyone can see exactly what I'm talking about. So let me pull this up. All right, so we're going to get rid of this. This is going to go over here. Okay, so then where did we put everything? All right. Okay, cool. So I'm going to pull up my notes here. All right. Cool. So the different free strategies that we're going to be covering as far as getting new people to your event. So we're going to be talking about how we're going to be able to leverage Facebook Lives. You're going to be able to leverage YouTube Lives, kind of something similar to what I'm doing with you guys today. We're also, I'm also going to go through and talk about some of, I went through and talked through some of the ads. I'll go and actually talk about the strategies that we were able to get those results, which were $5 and under. We're also going to be talking about how to get people to attend your events for free through LinkedIn. So we've got through blogs, affiliates, group promotions, doing JV partners, and the strategy that we use to actually partner up with other influencers to promote to their audience, and so we can kind of grow our business together. So I'm going to keep all of those notes there because there's a lot of that content that we're going to be going over. So the first thing is when you're doing let's say a Facebook Live or a YouTube Live, there's a couple of really neat ways that you can actually start automatically leveraging your social media audience. So when you think about hosting a live webinar versus a Facebook Live or YouTube Live, what's really cool is when you host a Facebook Live or YouTube Live, you're automatically able to get in front of people. It's your job to keep them engaged. And then from there, you want to use those, you want to leverage that audience into eventually turning them into your webinar, into webinar registrants and webinar attendees. So what people do initially to actually grow their audience, leveraging their social media audience, is they'll go live, and like very similar to what I did for what I'm doing here on Facebook and YouTube. I went live on my personal page. I shared it on my page, and I said, if you guys want to watch the entire training here, just click on this link and join my Facebook group. Now, that's one way to actually grow your audience, and then the more you're growing your audience, the more you're putting them into your group, and the more that you do webinars and you actually offer those people links within people. If you offer your webinar links to people in your webinar group, you're going to be able to get more people to attend and show up for free that way. So so that's a strategy to actually turning your lives into promotional clips, turning those promotional clips into hooks to getting people to join your Facebook group, to join your YouTube channel, and then leveraging those social media audiences. And as you continue to grow them, and then as you send them more invites to your webinars, that's going to be one way to have them show up for free. So I want to show you how you could actually do that entire process directly through JetWebinar here. So, looks like something went wrong. Okay, cool. We're back here. All right, so what we're going to do is, I just lost my train of thought here as far as Facebook. Right, so we're going to go let's go into webinars. We'll go into JetWebinar. And so what I'm going to show you how to do here is actually create a clip. So you're going to be able to go through and create a promotional clip within JetWebinar, leverage that for your other social media audience, and that's going to be your lead magnet for your group. So the first thing you can do here is we'll go into our account. And as we're waiting for this to load, here we go. So as we're waiting for this to load, so there's a couple other ways that you're going to be able to tap into this, and I want to actually put some more of this content in there. But so if we go into, let's say, media, so this is assuming right now we're hosting a live. So this is assuming after we have hosted a live, we clicked record, the video is automatically uploaded into Jet Webinar, and then from there, you're going to be able to go and create mini clips. So let's say we wanted to go here for as an example. You go into media, that file is ready here. So we're going to have the option to do is click turn into a mini clip. That is going to automatically create a mini clip, and then you have an option to promote this directly into Facebook. So when you go to Facebook, you can put your post description, you can share it via your Facebook group or your Facebook page, and then say, hey, whoever, for all those who want to watch the rest of my training here, just click on this link to join my group. And once you do that, you can automatically share that. That's going to be repurposed. You have your friends share that. You have your network share that. You share that within your business audience. And now you're already creating a lead magnet within all of your social media networks without actually needing to create anything additional, any new content to get those people to join your group. So that's going to be one way to do it. And again, the same strategy, you can use this download and then go take that link, share it within your YouTube channel, and then you can have people watch that mini clip as a hook to subscribe to your YouTube channel, to join your Facebook group, or whatever that main call to action is going to be there. So now that you've kind of understood that process, I'm going to go through and leave some comments right here, just so if you guys have questions, by the way, put them in here, let me know, and I'll be happy to respond to you guys as soon as I can. So we've got a free webinar sign up strategy. So we've got Facebook Live promotional clips. We've got YouTube Live promotional clips. That's what we're going to cover. That's what we've covered so far. Okay, awesome. So if you guys are having issues with video when it comes to the live, it could be because the internet is a little bit laggy, but worst case, we could download it and then re-upload it for you guys if that's something that you would like to have. So now that we've got that managed, so the next part of what I want to show you, and you can again you can repurpose all of this for LinkedIn as well. And now the cool part is when you're using your video content, the best way to share and get your message out there is, so if you're trying to share video links and you want to have that redistributed on, whether it's Reddit or if it's LinkedIn or if it's Twitter, if it's any other social media platform, then you can easily take that link and reshare and repurpose it directly through the YouTube, directly through YouTube. So that's not a problem at all, and that's a great way to just put out more content, share it, and then the more that you're sharing, the more value that you're bringing. If one of those hits and it becomes viral, then there's other ways to kind of grow from there. So the next part is, everyone talks about doing blogs and things like that. So what I really want to touch on is as far as having a mass promotional growth strategy, whether it's through blogs or promotions or affiliates. It really comes down to having a strategic JV partner. Okay, so when it comes to having a JV partner, there's a lot of different things that you can do as far as getting a joint venture partner. So if we walk through that process for a second, so actually going through and getting a JV partner, there's a couple different ways that you can do it, and I'm going to kind of outline it here really quickly. Here we go. So as far as JV partners and getting people to promote it, okay? So joint venture partners, okay? So for joint venture partners, you really need to think about, are you in the SaaS space? Are you in the marketing space? What value do you have to bring up front? What niche are you in? And from there, then once you have once you really establish and you figure out, who are main influencers and mini influencers. So you have mini influencers, and then you have large scale influencers. Okay, so when you talk about mini influencers, I'm thinking about people that have 200,000, maybe let's say 300,000 followers or audience size or less. Okay, so if you have that many, so the benefit between having mini influencers versus having large scale influencers is a couple different things. So if you have a mini influencer, you're more likely to get much higher engagements because with mini influencers, they're still engaging with their audience, they're still responding to their comments. People, when you have more of a smaller community, when someone puts out their message, they're going to be able to reach more people. Now, if you compare that to a Kardashian or a famous musician that you might know or a celebrity that you might know, they're going to have tens of millions of followers. But if they post something, if they do a promotional piece, not everyone in their audience is going to be able to see that. And so, for example, if you talk about engagement rates, or if you talk about what's the percentage of posts versus how many people view it, you'll notice that from the last time I checked, when you have a large scale percent engagement, that's fantastic. So that means for every 10 million people that they have in their audience, they're going to be able to reach 1 million. For every 100,000 people that they have in their audience, they're going to have they're going to be able to reach 1,000 people. Okay, so for mini influencers, that can actually increase all the way from 5 to 10, or even higher as far as an engagement. So you can get a lot more people who are going to be following them much more closely, watching their videos, watching their posts, and they just engage a lot more. So the game is with that is the goal is to have as many influencers within your network, within your audience, with people that you're building relationships with, over trying to go for 10 large-scale influencers. Now, for every 20 or 30 mini influencers that you have, it might make sense to go for 2 or 3 or 4 large-scale influencers, because then you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket and hoping one big promotion goes really well. Instead, you have you've gone through the process and vetted a lot of people. You're building relationships. You're much more likely to get exposure. You're much more likely to make that connection with a mini influencer, and it will help gain your exposure over time. And as long as you build that, after you do 10 promotions with mini influencers or whatever it might be, then it's going to be much easier for you to get those bigger players down the road. So as far as different ways to reach out to these people, I've really been loving LinkedIn lately. I really do. I love the process of LinkedIn, because when you think about who's on LinkedIn versus Facebook, and I want to talk about this for a second, Facebook versus LinkedIn. When I think of Facebook versus LinkedIn, as far as getting prospects, finding joint venture partners, finding people who have bigger lists than you do, who have the same customers as you do, and who are more open to actually go out and promote it, it's a much different ballgame, because when you're talking about Facebook, you have the internet marketing community, you've got the digital nomad community, you've got people who are diving into ClickFunnels, you have people who are just learning about Infusionsoft, ActiveCampaign, and so you have a lot of people who are new, or the people that the biggest types of deals that you're going to be able to get from Facebook versus LinkedIn is it's a lot different of a offer proposition, because our value proposition, because on Facebook everyone knows, or everyone believes that they know how to build a strong funnel. They believe they can really build a really strong marketing campaign. And with LinkedIn, you can get in touch with anyone around the world. And think about it from the perspective of, is a Fortune 500 C-level executive, are they going to be spending time on a ClickFunnels group, or are they going to be spending most of their time on LinkedIn trying to connect with other like-minded? Do business with those kind of people. You have to be thinking on that kind of level. Now, as far as that, if you want to find strong affiliate promoters, if you want to find other people or other founders who have your customer list, who have your perfect customers, and they have 10,000 people in their email list or 50,000 people in their email list, you want to be spending most of your attention with LinkedIn because you can play a much bigger game there. Now, let me actually show you a process that I have going on right now as we're speaking, and I'll actually run this. I'll run this for you guys here. I wasn't expecting to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. And this is the process that I have running right now, specifically for LinkedIn marketing. Now, what I want to do is I want to connect with people. I want to show them the power behind video marketing. And if you go on Facebook, everyone thinks they know about video marketing. And if you start applying that idea to bigger businesses, Fortune 500 companies, Inc. 5000 companies, and you would hit those people on a consistent basis, and if they implement your strategy into what they're doing for thousands of their customers, you're going to see a much higher return on your investment and a much higher return on their investment versus someone who might be just learning about online marketing in a Facebook group. So what I'm doing right now is I have this program up, and this program, what it does is it actually it's automatically running how to connect with other. It's automatically connecting me with other people who are. Oh, here we go. Yeah, who are in the marketing space, who are in the software space, and I'm able to automatically filter people that are already in that space and who who are a perfect fit for what I'm trying to do as far as the services I'm trying to offer, trying to leverage what they're currently doing. And now that I have that system in place, I have a 5-step process where I'm able to connect with someone. I'm able to send a follow-up message that automatically gives those people value. And then from there, I'm able to actually go through and schedule calls with these people who are ready to take action now. And if you message a lot of these people, it's like back in the day with cold emails, cold email marketing. Here, I actually want to pull this up again because it is so cool. Actually, I don't want to brag here. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to send me a message and I can talk to you about how to actually leverage that strategy for yourself. But now, if I'm ever looking for a joint venture partner, if I'm looking for an investor, if I'm looking for someone to do business with, I'm looking for new customers, this is going to be my strategy every single time over Facebook because I have more control of those people, of the message that I'm getting out there, of who I'm actually contacting. And so if you guys are looking for more of a script on how to get more joint venture partners to promote your online events and things like that, message me and I'll be happy to go through and help work that out with you. So a couple other things is another way to get your more exposure on here. So we talked about we talked about Facebook, we talked about Google, Facebook, we talked about YouTube, we talked about how to leverage it for LinkedIn. And another cool thing is there's actually a lot of websites out here that webinar event sites, okay? So there's a lot of other ways that you can host your webinar event for free on other websites, okay? So there's actually events for webinar marketing events, okay? So there's actually free forms where you can be posting your webinar events. And so when people are searching those specific topics, they can actually go to other free websites that host your webinar events, and you can do it right there. Another way that you can do this is you can be hosting you can actually host multiple Facebook Lives and YouTube Lives talking about your webinar, doing a blog around it, having a link, and then adding a link to your registration page on that blog, on your Facebook Live, on your YouTube Live, and then actually creating a viral giveaway where you can have, say, if X amount of people share this link in the next 72 hours, we're giving away $1,000. And that's another way to, you're spending $1,000 to have a viral campaign, and you didn't even have to spend any money on advertisements, and you're already getting in front of the right audience because you're having people within your network who are the right fit client. We're assuming you have set up your audience, you position yourself in front of your audience the right way, and your audience has connections with other people who would also benefit from this offer. And just by going through that process, adding more value to everyone, that's going to be a great way to get more exposure directly through that. So as far as getting more people, how to attract new people to your webinar events between the investment of $5 and free. I talked about all of the free ways of leveraging social media. And as far as the paid ways, now I went through and I showed you the, getting $3.43 webinar registrants, getting $5 webinar registrants. So the process of that is essentially what we've done is we've grown our email list by doing free offers. We've linked to those free offers and had people, after someone has downloaded the free offer, have them redirect to a webinar sign-up page. So that's one way to get more people to sign up for your webinar event between the investment of $5 or less. Another way is you can download all of your emails from people, all the emails from people who have ever purchased from you, who ever downloaded a free offer, and you can upload it into Facebook, create a lookalike audience, and then target people a 1% lookalike audience, meaning you only want to target the top 1% of people that look just like your email list, and then break it out and target different countries, United States and beyond, based on where you're actually targeting. And then you want to have ads run in a time, and you want to split test different time zones and when people are clicking and signing up for your events, so you can go and get an understanding of when's the highest, when you get the most conversions during what time for what country, and then you can replicate this process over and over again. And up until that point, if you leverage one or all of these strategies, there's so many cool different things that you can do to grow your online events. And if this is something that you are looking for an expert to go through and actually help this process, whether it's to get more people to sign up, to actually go through and help you with your presentation, or setting up the campaign to be sure that 30% or more of people are actually signing up for your webinar events, reach out to us to Jet Webinar. We also help clients do this for their own business as well. And so that's something that we're more than happy to help walk you through. And so for tomorrow, we have how to set up a webinar in a dynamic reminder campaign and increase your attendance rate up to 30% and beyond. So that is it for today as far as everything that we had to cover. I hope you got a ton of value from that. I'm trying to just get as much value as I can in a short period of time for you guys. And again, the big idea of what we're going to be covering, everything that we're covering for you guys, is the 4-day webinar challenge. I want to give you 4 days of training, and I want to show you how to leverage all this information and build it into a 6-figure business in 6 months or less for yourself. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Have a great one.